You're an astronaut. I'm a lady with a rocket. Will you?
I would love to hear you walk through how you wrote one of your specific songs, and maybe just play a little chunk of it to show us how it came into being.
Yeah, that's such a cool question. I love it. I would love to. So the title track of my most recent album is called Astronaut, and the album before that I wrote is called Lady with a Rocket. And so just a brief backstory to that, I wrote Lady with a Rocket about being who you are and who you're meant to be, and just kind of flourishing into outer space and trying to figure that all out. And the follow-up to that album is Astronaut. So I kind of struggle with the idea of, maintaining my independence and being a strong female musician, and also being in a relationship. You have a fine balance of doing that, but also understanding that there's a partnership there. You want to be strong when you need to, but also let the other person, there's a lot of exchange there. So I kind of ended up writing the album about that dynamic, and weaved it into my touring experiences and where I went in the world. So I just come back from a tour around the United States and Europe, and kind of name-checked a bunch of places in this song, because when I was dating my boyfriend Lennon at the time, 3.5 years ago now, but I just got back from tour, and I was telling him all about these places, and I realized, I really want to go with him. That would be amazing. So anyway, he is affectionately called Astronaut, and that's the name of this song. So it starts with, you're an astronaut. I'm a lady with a rocket. Will you go to space with me? Or fall for the galaxy while we run away? So that's what that one's about. That, just meeting and realizing I wanted to share this experience. And I just gotten back from a trip from Israel, very separate from my touring. And it was just more of a spiritual kind of experience. And it was our first month dating, and there was always that are you still dating other people? Are you? A lot of this anxiety of what's going on in Israel, and in general, just the state of in between. So I wanted to tell him about my journey here. So I say, to the Middle East, you dropped me off with strawberries on a bus to Tel Aviv. Never thought I'd fit right in a world I've never been. And before the chorus, so I was on a bus with strawberries in my lap in Tel Aviv. And I thought, how perfect, how oddly romantic is this? And I was talking with my neighbor after I started writing this, and talked about the experience of going to Israel and what that felt like, kind of being with your people, in a sense, your heritage, at least in my perspective. And she said, yeah, it's kind of like being in a world you've never been in, but you're still fitting in. And I thought, oh my God, that's exactly what it feels like, because you're sort of out of this world, out of this continent, out of this, whatever, but you're still with your people. So anyway, so then this is the chorus. I wanna fly, forget the wind that's playing me away from you. It's all I wanna do, spend my life chasing the place that makes us happy. So very whimsical.
Yeah.
And just flying through outer space. And that kind of carries through, because this is very much a story song, I would say. Carries through different perspectives. So I wanted that first layer to just kind of be an intro to how we ended up flying, and now we keep going. So this next part, if I can hopefully remember it after stopping singing, is about being in, what would that be like if we did travel together now that we're in outer space? And I thought, swirling around, we're whirling around a castle, and just sort of this like dreamy kind of imagery here. So let's see. Makes us happy. Will you join me? Oh, I did this too. For a bike ride through the English gardens, explore the mystery. This foreign place should be our fairy tale. Right under nowhere, we're around a castle where we claim we're king and queen, and fly above the trees, up away. And then it goes back into the chorus, I want to fly.
So pretty.
Yeah, so that, thank you. Yeah, it just kind of soared into that part, and then let's see. So, so this is the bridge. So makes us happy when you need time, or a little bit of air. Feel the planet spinning underneath your feet. I'll try to help you breathe. The feeling that we need is like a bird chasing the bees, and the sun that sets before the sea. With you I know I'm free to be me. I wanna fly. To go back into the chorus there.
Cool.
So just kind of tangling with, like, if you need time, let's take this our own way. But then ultimately, like, I feel like naturally an astronaut and a lady with a rocket, like, I feel like we're, I'm myself with you, this different kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then kind of just felt like when I was writing this, I remember thinking, the feeling that we need, like, what is this feeling that we need? Like the bird chasing the bees, and the sun that sets before the sea. So I was just kind of listing things as I kind of like held on that. And I was like, that feels natural. So this process was pretty organic. And then, yeah, it just ends with another chorus. To remember how it ends, let's see. So I want to fly. Forget the wind that's swaying me away from you. 'Cause all I spend my life chasing the place that makes us happy. So I changed it from me happy to us now that we're together. And then I went back to the beginning saying, you're an astronaut, I'm a lady with a rocket, will you go to space with me? And just capped it. Yeah, so it was very circular. Ends there from the beginning to the end. But I'd like to think that with those types of songs, you end with a different feeling than when you started. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's Astronaut.
You've been on a lot of tours, so clearly you're like very serious about the music. It's not like a side thing.
Right.
But you also have a job in tech, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you find like balancing those and making sure you have time for both, and like where do you place your energy? Just how does that work out for you logistically?
Yes, I love this question because I asked myself the same question when I was going through trying to figure out how to make everything work. And I definitely think it's a personal balance, and everyone is going to be different in this aspect. But I did read a book that was really awesome from the library. It was called, like, Real Artists Have Day Jobs or something, which is so funny. Yeah. And I highly, highly recommend this book because it definitely does not condone or shun anyone who chooses not to have a day job, because when, like you mentioned, like when I was touring, that was like a very serious endeavor. At the time that I was on tour full time, I was not like in a day job at that point. But I definitely think that having the community of being around like something separate from the music has really helped me and normalize and give me routine and give me structure to be able to create. and that's sort of more personal. But when I was touring full time, it made sense, obviously, to be on the road because my money was focused more on the gigs, and being on the road every day meant I would be getting paid more consistently doing that. But then there became a time when I thought, I really would like to focus more on writing again and doing more songwriting and being in the studio. And so that kind of naturally unfolded into, I want to still stay in Nashville and figure out how to make it work. And I worked part-time, actually, at my first job was at Massage Envy. I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but you get your 1 hour massage for $59.99. And so I would sell membership massages to people during the day. And then it gave me flexibility at night to write. And so that kind of started into figuring out the balance. But ever since then, we moved into working for Apple, and then that was a remote job. So that was really helpful because I was able to, I definitely believe in the work to live balance. Yeah, that's it. Being able to make sure that, while I'm at my job, I'm productive and contributing. However, when I leave the job, I want to make sure that I'm still able to live and enjoy my music. So I think we've all been in places where we've felt like we've worked too much, whether that's work or school, and we need to figure out a better balance.
Yeah.
So yeah, but right now, so I work at an app company called Tinder. I love working there. They have a lot of really great life balance things. I'm also able to, just be around other people during the day that I really like. So
That's really interesting. Cool.
And you're in Connecticut, is that
I
what you
am.
said? And Connecticut, I'm just trying to think. I played at a place called The Space.
Oh!
I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
You probably can hear my dad laughing. Yeah, that was the first open mic I went to.
No way.
Not the most,
so,
child-friendly place, gotta say, but I live in Hamden.
You did?
Yeah, I'm, 7 minutes away from the space.
That's so insane.
I wish I'd known you were here.
So